everyone. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you about Git today. Here's the part where I tell you I am definitely going to post the slides on my site tonight, except for I don't have any slides. That's it. And I don't know what I'm talking about yet because, well, I want to answer your questions. What are the places where you've rage quit Git? What are the places where you've needed to delete your Git repository? What are the things that you wish you knew about Git? And let's talk about that. What are your questions? It's way too early for that one. Often I get asked about rebase. Is that something you want to learn? What's next? Submodules. Ow, yes. Push force and push force. Release? With leash. Lease. Yeah, typing is hard. Good question. That would be fun. Some people like to ask me, should I rebase or should I squash? Is that a good one? Best practices in maintaining commit history. I like it. Rebase versus merge. I like it. Somebody say bisect. Is that a good one? Cool. Well, this will be a fun talk. Let's dig into all things Git. And as you find more ideas, or if you find scenarios where you got stuck, I checked out this thing and I can't figure out how to push, or I can't figure out how to merge, then let's dig into those too. So, good call. Any questions online?
Yes. How to undo pushed commits?
Great one.
Does anybody actually use stat? If so, for what?
Oh, that's a great one. I like it.
How to cleanly undo a large pushed merge commit?
A large
Pushed merge commit.
Ooh, that'll be fun. That'll get really scary.
That's all.
That is all. Cool. So thank you for coming to my talk. Here's the agenda. Let's see.
And we have one more question.
Excellent.
How to remove push passwords from Git?
That is excellent. Okay, I have an empty folder here. And so, oh, go ahead. Let's make a new folder. I'm going to say Git project. Here's my Git project. And now we want to make it into a Git repository. Now, typically we'll do something like git clone https github.com/blah, blah, blah, or maybe we're in gitlab.de, or maybe we're in bitbucket.com, or maybe we're in my company name here. And all of those work, but we could also do something like this. Git clone from path to server, or git clone C, git repos my project, or even from another folder. But in this case, we're not going to clone our project. We're going to start from scratch. So let's say git init. Now, what did we just do? We created an empty Git repository, so my terminal is really helpful in telling me where I am. But here's our folder, and we just created this. Now, by default, on both Mac and Windows, this is hidden. On Linux, this is hidden as well. Turning that on in your Mac or Linux terminal is a little weird. On Windows, I came in here to view options, and I told it to show hidden files and folders, which is why I can see it. But inside this .git folder is all the details of this Git repository. So how do I back up a .git repository? I back up this folder. Now, probably I'm going to do it a little differently. Probably I'm going to push commits to somewhere else, but that's our Git repository right here. OK, so now that we've got our Git repository, git log. Oh, I don't have any commits yet. Let's create some commits. Echo file1 contents into file1.txt, git add file1.txt, git commit -m, file1's commit message, or because, I'm not sure why, but apparently it's the rule that you have to say initial commit. Sure. Now I can say git log, and I have some history. But we want to aim for a rebase, so let's create some more history. Echo file2 to file2.txt, git add file2, git commit -m file2, git log, and now we've got a little bit more. That's getting a little bit big, but that's OK. Echo file3 to file3.txt, git add file3, git commit -m file3. Yeah, that's a pretty cool process. We find a file. We add it to our Git repository, we commit it, and now we have some history. Well, now it's really fun because if I've come from another source control system, I might say, well, what's the current version? Version 3? Well, the current version right here is F6067348A2DF9E33DF-E9B63E8CC8C9699F71. So I go up to my project manager and I say, can I deploy it? Deploy what? Well, the latest version of F606. Yeah, in Git we have no version numbers. That's totally fine. So let's create some more history. Echo file4 into file4.txt, git add file4, git commit -m file4, git log. Let's look at this history a little bit smaller. Git log, I'm going to do one line. And now I just have that commit message and the branches. So here's my main branch. Now, by default in Git, that would be called master, but Black Lives Matter, so we've chosen to change it to main. As I installed Git on my system, I checked the box and said, make my default main, and away it goes. In time, that may become the default. Now, that's the default for new repositories. If I have an existing repository, it's going to stay the way it is. Echo file 5 into file 5.txt, git add file 5, git commit -m file 5. Oh, file 5. There we go. Git log --1 line. Now, let's talk about branches, because I want to git branch new feature. And I will start my new feature from here. Let's pretend that's where I was when this feature began. Git log --1 line. I'm going to say --branch. Nope, --decorate. That will show me branches. There we go. So now we can see that new feature branch. I'm going to say git checkout new feature. Git log --1 line --decorate. Uh-oh. Where did this stuff go? Did I just lose all of the history? And here in my working directory, file 3 and file 4 and file 5 are gone. Where is this stuff? It's in here, in my .git repository. It's still there. It's just hanging out. So let's come back here and let's say git log --1 line, git log --1 line --decorate. I'm going to say --all. And all shows me not only the things in my history, but also things in my future as well. I'm right here, and here's the rest of the things. That's cool. OK, so now we've begun our new feature. Echo file 6 into file 6.txt, git add file 6, git commit -m file 6, git log --1 line --decorate --all. That looks a little weird, but didn't this one start from over there? Let's add one more flag. Let's add --decorate --graph. And graph will show this cool ASCII art. Now, maybe we're using a UI that kind of shows this source tree or VS Code, or maybe we're using another UI. And now we can see that from file 2, this one went this way, and this one went this way. We branched. That's cool. All the TFS people are like, wait, you can do that? Yeah, that's cool. Git is awesome. Echo file 7 into file 7.txt, git add file 7, git commit -m file 7, git log --1 line -graph -decorate -all. Decorate. Decrate. OK, so now we can see our new content. I finished my feature. I'm ready to put it back together. And so now I could say git merge main. Now that's cool. Let's go do that git log --1 line -graph -decorate -all. And we can see that that put that back together. OK, so we merged. But now let's see, should we rebase instead? Well, what is rebase? Let's talk about what is rebase. I'm going to say git checkout -b. That'll create a branch and check out the branch at the same time. Experiment. And let's do git log --1 line -graph -decorate -all. And we can see that I'm now on the experiment branch. Let's try to rebase. Git rebase main. Git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all. We can now see that we've got this branch, and it picked up these commits, the file 6 and file 7 commits, and it just stuck them on top of the other one. I'm going to grab this and set that aside. And let's do git branch dash D new feature, because then we can see it a little bit better. We'll put that back in a minute. Oh, git branch dash D, reading console output. If you're sure, do a capital D. OK, let's really delete it. New feature. OK, that's a little simpler. Instead of going apart and then coming back together, instead, we're just going to do it all together in one line. I rebased. I picked a different base commit. I picked up that history, and I put that on top. That's cool. So we got to see both sides. In this rebase one, we just picked our commits up and put them on top. In our merge one, we noted that we went separate for a time, and then we came back together. So which one should I do? The one that tells the story the way you want it to. Do you want to tell the story that you started here and did this work over here, and then they did this work over here, and then we came back together? Now, that will kind of lead a meandering trail. And so we could definitely tell that story. Or would you rather tell the story that says, I did this work, and then there's some other work that came before it, and I've already merged the changes? Now, I kind of like this. I came from CVS and SVN, and those that had a straight branch all the way through. There's also this. Git Guitar Hero. Oh, there we go. Now, if we chose to just let branches go, we might end up in something that looks like this. Git Guitar Hero. So we could definitely go too far with that. So maybe our preference is to have a straighter tree, or maybe we want to have a few branches. But let's play then with squash a little bit. So we've got this right here.
Sorry,
Ooh.
I don't want to interrupt, but I have 2 questions, and I don't really know if they fit, but
Yes.
I'll read them out. I have the first one was stash things all the time. You do some work, you realize you're not in the right branch. You want to stash your work to avoid weird conflict when you switch and pull branches. I don't know if this fits. Then we have
That's perfect.
Okay. I am even use stash as a backup of a running before doing some tiny, not too big changes. Sometimes the working state gets broken while cleaning it up for a commit. Then I jump back to the working version.
Sometimes the working state gets broken while cleaning up for commit, then I switch to another branch.
Then I jump back to the working version was the one.
That is great. Stash things, then realize I'm on the wrong branch. It looks like these are more details on that one. Let's do it. I'm going to put it...
And then there is a no.
No?
Yeah, he wrote no.
Let's definitely experiment with no. That'll be fun. Git commit dash m no. Sorry. Git log dash dash one line. No, didn't work.
He says wait, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just being silly.
He's still writing.
Okay.
Okay, I'll read it out soon.
Cool. So let's come back here because we're in the middle of trying to merge and rebase. So let's actually undo both of those. Git checkout main, git branch -d experiment, git branch. I'm going to create this one and then create another branch. And so now we're back to here. That is not a valid commit. I did. Let's git check out that branch and take a look at, oh, yeah, there we go. And that's actually not the one I want. I want this one. Git check out that one. Warning, you are leaving one commit behind, not connected to any branches. If you want to create this one's even scarier. You are in a detached head state. So, Halloween? Is this a zombie? That is such a scary message. And it's really unfortunate that it's so scary. Let's take a look at the history and see what we see. Our head just doesn't point to a branch anymore. In previous places, head always had this arrow to a particular branch. Now, we can still continue on, but if I was to say something like git checkout main, then I would be, and then I do a git log. We'll include -- all so that we can see everything. That's gone. Well, is it gone? It's not gone, but I can't see it. And that's what Git is warning us about, is in time, Git will go clean up empty branches, and it may purge this history. So let's go fix our detached head state. Git log. I've forgotten what that commit was. Well, let's look through the reference log, because that will tell us where we are. Git reflog. Now, what's interesting about git reflog, I've seen some people pronounce it as reflog, and all I can see is this whip with, cat o' nine tails. Nope, it's not reflog, but rather reflog. Let's take a look at where our references have been. In this case, it's head. So head is here, but before it there, it was here. Okay, git check out that, and now we're back to where we were. We're still in a detached head state, but let's get into an undetached head state. Git check out my feature. Let's git check out -b my feature. And now I am in an undetached head state. Phew. Everything is good again. Okay, so echo file 8, redirect. Nope, I'm going to actually modify some stuff here. Let's create a new file. We'll call this one file 8. We'll open up file 8 and we'll add some code here. And then we'll also modify file 6 and we'll add some code, more code. We'll also modify file 1. Apparently we're in a curly brace language, so we have lots of semicolons and lots of curly braces. Oh, wait, def. So now we're in Python. Yes, I do want to save it. The phone rang. Production is down. We need to switch contexts. Okay, I can do that. Git checkout main. CD to this other folder. Git clone production. Nope, let's not do that. CD to git project. Git checkout main. So how do we switch contexts? How do we get to another branch when we're in the middle of our work? Well, the easy thing to do would be to say git stash. That just kind of creates this fake commit. So let's do a git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all, and we can see that here's that stash. Now I can check out main. I can modify my content. Let's modify file2, fixed prod. Woohoo! Save the day, everything's good. Git add file2. Why did we just add file2? Wasn't file2 already in the repository? What we added was the changes into our repository, not the file itself. Git commit dash m fixed prod. Oh, I outsmarted myself. Git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all. Production is fixed. Git checkout my feature. Git pop stash. Git stash pop. OK, git status. We're back to where we were. Those files are uncommitted, and we can do that. That's one way where we could go fix production. Another way is it kind of created a fake commit. So let's just say git commit git add dot git commit dash m work in progress git status. Git status is clean. Git checkout main, and now we can go fix main. Git checkout git log. What branch was that? Git checkout my feature, and now I'm back. Git status, everything looks good, and I've got my files back, but now I have this work in progress commit that I may want to delete. So let's say git reset to here. We just undid that commit. Now that's cool. Stash is helpful in that it creates that fake commit. You have a queue of maybe 8, I think. But it's kind of difficult to keep track of it, and you saw me stumble through that syntax, so I would argue just create a fake commit, because now you see it in the history. But now what if we do that? Git add dot, git commit dash m, work in progress, and now we're coming in here and we're going to fix the code. So I'm going to finish changes, and now I'm ready to commit again. Git commit git status, git add file 7, git commit dash m, done with feature. Now if I look through my history, I have a lot. I don't really want to tell this story very well. You don't care that I stopped and got interrupted. How could I, put these together? Well, let's say git rebase dash I. Now, we did rebase previously, but that was to pick a new base commit. This is interactive rebase because, naming is hard. And I'm going to start with right here. I want to rebase everything from here on. So I'll take a look at this one, and this one, and this one, all the way up to my feature. Now, I've chosen to modify my editor to pop open VS Code instead of VI, but if you hadn't picked that feature, then you'd be here in the thing, and one of the things that I think is really fun, a random number generator. Put a junior developer in front of VI and ask them to quit. Which is why I switched mine to VS Code. So in all of the things, Git history goes up, time goes up. In this view, time goes down because consistency is hard. Now, each of these are my commits. If I were to delete one of these, then that commit would just be gone. It would get removed from my history. So I don't want to do that. But here's some instructions. I can pick, reword, edit, squash. And that's what we wanted to learn about is squash. So let's squash this one into this one. That's pretty cool. Now, what did that do? Well, it took those two commits and it pushed them together, and then it tried to commit it, and it said, hey, I don't have a good commit message. I had 2. Which one would you like? Well, I'm going to say neither of those work. built the feature. Not that. Built the feature. Git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all, and we can see that we pushed those two commits together. What is rebase? Rebase is two things. Rebase is an interactive rebase where I can squash. So we just did the stash and squash. But rebase is also moving things onto the top. The difference is dash I. So should I use stash or should I use commit? That is totally up to you. But how do I undo pushed commits? We did a git reset along the way. That was pretty cool. Rebase versus merge. Do you want to tell the story the way you would like to? Should I rebase or squash? Those are kind of different. Squash compress those commits into one thing, and rebase could put those commits on top of it. So we also had these other commits, and they were part of this story. Let's rebase those as well. So I'm going to rebase this. I removed my temporary commit, which was good, but I'm going to squash this and squash this. I'm just using that squash. But there's also a fix up here that says it's like squash, but keep the previous commit message. So if I had a thing that said, here's the thing, oh wait, I changed it, I broke it, then we might choose to use fix up. And we can do interesting things. So I'm going to say fix up and fix up, or in this case, I'll squash and fix up. And so now that I've got that in place, I still want pick as the first one. I want that to be my commit. But now I've got all of the things put into place. What's my commit message? I built the feature. And we've got that thing. So we did a rebase. We now have a single commit. Or we did a squash, rather. We now have a single commit. And so let's rebase that. Git rebase. And we're using the non-interactive version, main. And now we have a really simple Git history. That was pretty cool. Is it worth that headache? Depends. What's the story that you want to tell? Source control has two purposes. The first one is save points, and I'm glad that we were able to capture all of those save points. If anything went wrong, we have an undo spot that we can get back to. The other part of source control is to tell the history, to be able to communicate with my team. So they don't care that I wandered over here and then over there and then had to stop and come back. So my preference, I like to squash all my things down into one commit, rebase that on top, and then push that. But we wanted to do some interesting things, so let's come back to here, git reflog. We wanted to right here. Oh, there's VI. Let me out! The magic sauce, colon, Q, exclamation point. Almost. Q, there we go, exclamation point. So I want to git checkout that one, git checkout -b, other experiment. And now I'm out of a detached headspace, and so everything looks great. Built the feature. Best practices in maintain commit history. I think we did that one. Do we have more details on stash the things, then realize I'm on the wrong branch? Did I solve that, or do we have more clarity on that question?
I actually have an answer here.
Woohoo!
Woo! There's one answer on the question if anybody is using Stash.
Is anybody using stash?
No, there's an answer to this. And
Excellent.
I do a Stash to have a backup of a working code state. Then I start to do my partial commits while committing. I also do cleanup work of my changes. Sometimes I break my code while doing so. Then I can use the stat to jump back to the running version, or I can compare it.
Yes. Diffing between commits. That is interesting. I tend to use commits for that, but I'm glad that you found success with stash. That's cool. Push, and force with lease. Let's do that. So we haven't pushed yet because we don't have any remotes. So here's my history. But if I say git remote -v, I don't have any remotes. Now, if I had done a git clone, I would already have the remote set up, but I didn't. So let's go build a server. I'm here in this original folder. Here's my Git project folder back here. Let's build a server. New folder, server, cd server. Now, previously we said git init. Oh, I just did it. Previously we said git init. And that did great. It created us a Git repository, a working directory, but we're now on a server where a working directory may not make sense. So instead of git init, let's git init --bear. Bear says, I only want the contents of the Git folder. I don't want the Git folder itself. So here we have basically the contents of that Git folder, not that unlike over here, but we don't have a working directory. Here's the server folder, and here's all the files. It is just the contents of the Git repository. That's cool. So now we need to hook up our remote. Git remote -v. We don't have a server, so we could git remote add origin, https github.com. It's not on GitHub, so we could say path to server. Nope, it's not on a server. Mine happens to be up one directory right there. Now, why did we call it origin? Well, we might choose to call it server or Azure or, but trunk. No, let's not call it trunk. That would be fun, though. By convention, we call this origin. It just means the remote. Now, every Git repository is the same, so a remote isn't different, so I could add your PC or something else. But now I have a server, so let's git push origin server. Yes, I have a server. Git push origin main. This always bothered me because I'm like, I'm going to push main to origin. So what do I have to do? So git push to origin main. Well, if we look at our Git history, git log --one line --graph --decorate --all, we just pushed main. Now we have this origin main, but we didn't push other things. So we could say git push origin main my feature other experiment, and now all that stuff is up on the server. If we look at that, we see those are here. And if we come in here to the server, git log --one line --graph --decorate -all. The server has all the things. Excellent. Now the server has all the things, so we kind of backed up the Git repository. So does it make sense to copy this .git folder? Maybe. Back up your PC, and then you're probably fine. OK, so we just pushed all this stuff, and now I want to say git rebase other experiment to main. Now we've got that on track, and oh, I was on main. Git checkout other experiment git rebase main. Ooh, we're about to do really bad things. This is cool. OK, so I just broke it. Let's delete the thing and reclone it. No. We just need to put this one back over here and this one back over here, and then we can kind of undo it. Now, this is the ninja move. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, do not check merge history, but let's git update ref, refs heads main to origin main. Okay, main's back, that's cool. Git update ref, refs heads other experiment to origin / other experiment. And now that one's there too. Cool, we got back. Git status. Okay, so we have some things that are staged that we probably don't want to. So I'm gonna say git checkout other experiment, and those are still there. Git reset -- hard. Now, you may have found places where you thought you were stuck. This is the only one that gets you actually stuck. This deletes history. Now it's good. If you had any uncommitted changes, they're now gone. So do that one much more carefully. So we want to rebase this. I am on my other experiment, and I'm going to get rebase main. That worked. And now that my other experiment is on top of main, I want to git push origin other experiment, and I get this wonderful message. Updates were rejected because the tip of your current branch is behind. Its remote counterpart, it's just going to tell me that I need to merge it first. This is my branch, so I don't feel really bad changing history here. But if it was main, I would need to coordinate with all of you. Hey, I broke it, sorry, git pull main. And that's a whole nother thing. Should we change the history of main? Probably not. We should probably consider that done. But in this case, this is my branch, so I can git push origin -f other experiment. And that worked. And everything is fine. Let's go look at the history, and that looks great. I rebased my branch onto main to kind of say, here's how I want to tell the story. I did this work that is new to the thing that was done before, and the fact that I started way over here really doesn't help anyone. I just want to do that, which, by the way, pre-merged any concerns here, which was nice. Now, you don't have to merge it. You don't have to figure out how my branch worked. That worked. Now, one of the things about force push with lease is one of those things that's a carryover from things like TFS, where we would lock stuff. Don't. And that's all I have to say about lease. In a similar way, we asked about submodules, and submodules are interesting, but submodules are a commit in my repository. Now, in most cases, I might want to have packages that are stored somewhere else. Git does a really bad job of this with submodules, because a submodule references another repository and a commit on that repository, which means I need to update my submodule, and it just gets hairy. We have package managers now that can do this. So pip install this or npm install this. Use your package manager for that if you can. But I really want to have this shared library. Well, it sounds like you have a new repository that needs to get published to my internal package manager, and I'll use that to pair install this particular library. I can build internal libraries, and that might be cleaner than submodules. That's not the definitive guide on submodules, but yeah, the punchline is submodules are hard. How do I remove push passwords from Git? Git config. Let's talk about git config because this is really cool. Here inside this Git project, we have this config file. And so I'm going to open up this config file inside of VS Code, and this config file tells me where my server is and other details about it. This config file is specific to this repository, and it overrides any settings in my global config, which happens to be in my user profile. Wait, the one in my user profile. Now this git config, it's global because it's user specific, because naming is hard. And this is the defaults that get applied to my repository. So remember when you said git config -- global user.name and you put in your name? Git config -- global user.email and you put in your email? That's where that went. Now we also have a third one, which is system, and that one is in your user install directory. And so in my case, it's in program files. And these are the results of all the things that I typed as I installed Git. So I want to go looking for the password to this server. Well, it's not here. I do have a credentials section, so that's interesting. It talks about credentials to this particular server. Here in my local one, is there a credential anything? No. It talks about what helper I might use, and it says manager core. That's interesting. Is there any credentials in here? Nope, it talks about the server. Now this is where we get off of the Git is universal across all things, and we get into specific in my particular OS. So I'm on Windows here, and so I'm using manager core. Manager core happens to create an encrypted file in my home directory, my user profile. You may choose a different thing. If I was using an older version of Git, it ends up in my control panel, and my control panel credential manager. If I'm on Mac, it may be in my keychain. So I would come in here, and here's my Git password. If I'm using a different credential manager, then that password would end up there. So how do I clear my Git passwords? Go to that place where you stored it and clear them. Sorry, it's not a great answer. But we had a lot of fun.
I just want to say something. We
Yes.
just have 5 minutes left.
We have 5 minutes left. Excellent.
Yes, and there is one question. Why do you write your commit messages in past tense?
Why do I write my commit messages in past tense? That's a good question. Because I just finished doing it? Because I'm lazy? I agree, Git commit messages are a great topic, probably beyond the scope of today. But ultimately, consult with your team and find a good commit message strategy. And maybe you're going to talk about the things that will automatically increment your README details. Maybe you're going to talk about the task tracking system and be able to link it to there. And so ultimately, I was just really lazy as I created my Git history because I was just going fast. But yeah, a lot of these are pretty lame. These are not good commit messages. Yes?
Regarding the previous question that you just answered, I'm not sure if he was actually asking about the Git passwords. I think he's talking about passwords or credentials that were saved inside your Git, like as commits.
How do I get passwords out of my commit history? Excellent question, and we have 5 minutes to solve it. Git checkout main. Of course, I'm going to do it in main because, you know, passwords are hard. Let's come in here to my project. I'm going to open up file 3, and I'm going to change some code and accidentally commit a password and save my code and git add everything because I'm not paying attention. And git commit -m file 3 git log --1 line --graph --decorate --all. Everything looks great. Git push origin main. Oh crap. That's okay. I can fix it. Didn't commit the password. Git add file 3, git commit -m. Nothing to see here. Now, I could create this commit, and then I could squash it, and then maybe that history is done, but there's another flag called amend that does that right away. So I'm just going to take the previous commit, and I'm going to overwrite it. Git status. Nope. git log, that's not it. Git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all, everything's great. Git push origin main. Oops. Oh, git push origin main dash F. Sorry, everybody. Is it gone? Git reflog. Git checkout there. Git status. Here's file 3 at that particular thing, and here is the password. Nope, that's not it. Git reflog, I grabbed the wrong one. That's the one I want. Git checkout that. File 3, there's the password. But I forced push, so it's good, right? So let's go over to the server. Git checkout that. Oh, git. You ever start typing a git command and you get distracted, and then like you come back and you go git checkout that thing, and it goes, oh, let me do that here. Git log dash dash one line. Let me finish this thought and I'll come back to that one. Is it gone? Well, kind of. FEB53. It's still on the server. It's still in my local project. It's here in refs. Nope, not refs. Objects. FE 6F FE 53, and it's in that file. Well, let's say git log FE that, and there's that commit. So I've got that commit right there. I also have this commit up on the server. Oh, I'm on the server right now. This file is gone. The moment that you commit a password to Git, the password is gone. Rotate your keys. I'm sorry, it's 5 o'clock. You just want to go home. Yes, rotate the keys right now. The moment that you commit it to Git, it is lost. I committed it, I amended it, I force pushed it, maybe you pulled it, maybe you didn't. Consider it gone. Any password committed to Git is lost. That might not always be true, but it's a really good rule of thumb, and it gets us unstuck really easily. So we had a lot of fun talking about Git today. We got to wander around all kinds of interesting things, and this was so much fun. Thanks for helping me put together this excellent presentation, and thanks for coming to Git Scenarios, How Do I Fix That? If you have any questions later, hit me up on Twitter at Rob_Rich, and you can find nothing about this presentation other than that it is really cool up on robrich.org. But from here, you can also click the email me button and contact me there. Thanks for coming. This was a lot of fun.